More?
Yeah, can you scroll up more? Yes. Keep on scrolling.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, scroll little
This
more,
one?
little more. No, this is no. I will tell you. This small guy is what. This small guy, what it's telling. Whenever you enter your child details, it will open info type 21 for you. You can see, right?
Okay.
That is for this one. I'll read this out how it works. Whenever for Molga 40, you are doing X, as in you are doing change, and in info type there's something called field called FAST 3. 3 means child. Then sorry, 3 will be child. So it will go to info type 21, and it will give you the child details.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay, info type. No, sorry. Yeah. Now I understood. Now what is this? This is what you found out. Okay. So this is the thing. So in you go to Molga, then whenever you give this family status as married, it goes to info type 1 and give you the spouse detail, and it's asks you to enter all this. So this is the thing.
Okay, this one only, right?
This one only. So generally SAP gives you a list, complete list, and you can even change it. Like let's say you can change here, like whenever it should give me like FST, let's say you can put as change as, let's say what you tell, family, father. So it will ask you to enter your father detail and so on.
Okay.
But SAP gives you an entire list. But this is the how the question comes. In the
Okay.
interview, they'll ask you that, okay, how does dynamic action work? So you understand what how. Then they'll ask you how, what is the trigger point. So the trigger point is always a field.
Okay.
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 So this is what we call dynamic action. Okay. So there, so the configuration is not required. This is a kind of complex and all, and SAP gives you the all everything list and all. Maximum you have to change the value from 40 to 30 to something like that and so on.
Okay.
So we'll come to the last thing, which is called reports. So can you cross all the screens?
I'll close this one. Hello?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, please close all the screens. All the screens.
All okay.
Yeah. Click on logout. Yes.
Yeah.
Now open again. Yes. Try to log in.
It's already logged in. Login.
Can you log in?
No.
We already logged out, right? So that is it.
Yeah. It's not done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now in PA, we have learned all the configuration, right? For all the info types, all the screens, all the features, and so on. So now, lastly, think in all sub modules like PA, OM, payroll, time, and all, the SAP provides some standard reports. So if you run that report, you can see find the list of all employees, list of all the birthday, list of male, female, so on. So where do we
Okay.
get this? So can you make the screen large? No. So there's a first screen that is called SAP Easy. So can you go to human resource? There's something called SAP menu, right? Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Then go to something called information system. Then go to something called reports. Okay. Can you open person management? Can you open administration? So this administration has all the reports, which is for standard reports. So some reports are country specific. If you see Brazil, Canada, France, and all. For India, we only touch two things: the employees and the organization entity. These are the two standard reports we do for India. So can you open employee? So So this is all the list of reports we run for employees. So you'll find
Okay.
date monitoring. The date monitoring is what kind of deadlines are there, or what kind of. Then we have service anniversary, power attorney, education and training, employee left, enter and left, family details, and so on. Then can you click on organization entity?
Organization.
This is the second one.
No, the second one.
So here it will give you a head count, development, nationality, and so on. So can you run any random report? We'll see from there, like how this. So these are the list of standard reports which SAP gives you to run. So can
Okay.
you double click on that. So always for the report, this way only. Okay. So now, so this will give you head count. So this is called input parameters. So in the period you can give today, like today what is the head count? You can give current month what is the head count, current year what is the head count, up to today what is the from today what is the head count, and then there is other thing where you can give your own start date, end date. Then in the selection you can give what all employees you want to see, employment status you can see, person area, person sub area, employee group, employee subgroup. Also you can put action type and date of action also. And lastly, you will find the output format, in what format you want to see. So let us pull a report for today. Can you click on today? We'll make it little big. Can you click up to today? Click on up to today. Okay. We'll see all the employees which are present up to today. And can you go to output format and do F4 there? Output, there's something last tab called output format. There's something called SAP list view on the right.
Yeah.
Viewer. Click on that. Do an F4. Okay. Click on yes. Click on all. Yeah. There's one something called all, right?
Yeah.
Click on that. No. Sorry.
This
There's
is
something
all.
called.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Click on this. Yes. Then leave it. There's only they have not entered the layout. It's okay. No problem. Cross this. Now execute this report. So how many counts do you want? Like maximum 100 people should come, right?
Okay.
You can give. We are giving just 100 and we just want to check. You can increase the count also.
Okay. So there is any limit to increasing this?
Yeah, you can give limit. So the limit in SAP which we have seen is the limit what Excel gives you. So Excel, I guess 1 lakh is the limit, right, in Excel?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So that limit even that gives you, like
Okay.
you can put, you can even put 20 lakhs also, but when you download it in Excel, it will take only 1 lakh.
Okay.
Okay. Click on that.
Okay.
So this is the entire head count. So you have person number, first name, last name, when was the entry, what was the action done on that, what was the action reason, what is the action start date, what is the org unit, okay, what is the name of the org unit, what is the person area, person sub area, employee group, employee group. So this is the entire count. Okay. So now, so this is a count. So for as a HR, what you do, you give a number of count, you get this output thing. Now you take a copy of that. So in this tab, can you see something called Excel here? It is the sixth icon. Yeah, click on that. So it will give you an option. Click on that. Yes.
No,
it's not allowing.
No.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
possible.
After Excel, yeah, I think Excel is not configured. Can you go to the second icon then?
This one?
Click on that. Okay, can you click on text with tabs? So this is giving you option to download. Okay, click on yes. Okay. Can you give the path directly, as in the path where your file should be saved?
Yeah, desktop is fine.
Desktop is fine, right? So now can you give the text name? What text you want to do? Like you have to name the file, right? And you put report head count, something like that. Dot txt. Now click on generate. So now this will create a like copy in your desktop. Click on generate. Click on allow.
Mm-hmm.
So now, can you minimize the SAP screen? Minimize this also. So can you click? Can you click on that? Because this is a remote desktop, so it will never come in your desktop. This is how the file. So let's say if you want to copy it, can you copy all this? Control A, Control C. Can you do a Control A, Control C? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can you open Excel here and copy paste in the Excel?
On my desktop, right?
No, it will not help you to copy. Just copy here.
Copy in the Excel.
Okay, minimize. Can you open Excel here? New Excel. Is there option to Excel? Microsoft Office, something like that. No, click renew. Yes, this is the right. Double click on that. Okay, click on all. Can you copy? Click on close. Can you copy paste?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is how. So SAP also gives you Excel format. That tab is not working. Maybe it's a training server. That is the reason. So here you can play with the data. You can send a mail and all. So this is how by the report. There are number of standard reports. You can use those report to generate report for your company, and you can copy in Excel or a tab, and you can play with that data. You can like use for presentation. You can use for reports and so on.
Okay.
So there are a number of things. So you can just all the reports you can run, and you can see like based on the criteria. Let's say employee wants for 10 days, 20 days, 1 month, 3 months. So that is the thing what you can do. Okay.
Okay.
So can you close this? Don't save. Go back. Assignment for you will be you have to open all the reports and you have to check all the reports. And reports are simple. Just your input up to today and that's it. Okay. Can you go back? So in the assignment, I've given you the list of reports. You have to go to each report and you have to. Can you go back?
Okay.
So this is all the. So now we'll go to another. Can you click on birthday list? Double click on that. So this is the same. Up till today, you'll run and you'll find what are the people having birthday. Okay. You can up to today execute it.
Okay.
So these are all the employees.
Yeah.
And what is the age? So this is all.
Yeah.
So this is all standard report. So this is how we conclude PA. So PA is done for us. So PA, what we did all the general transaction. We created person action. We created enterprise structure, person structure. We created administrator. Then we created all the info types, fields, and features. Then we did something called screen modification. We did something called dynamic action, and also remember just number range where we declared what is the external number range, internal number range.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we did report. So PA theory is complete, PA practical is complete. So we'll take a short 5 minutes and then we'll start with OM. So you can stop presenting. Now I present and we'll start with OM theory.
Okay.
So we have 5 minutes. You can take a 5 minutes break. Okay? Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see.
So today we'll start with different module for OM, different module for SAP HCM. This module is known as organization management. So in SAP, there are two very basic submodules in HCM. One is the personal administration and second is the organization management. So we have already completed here. We saw all the different processes in human life in organization as an employee. Then in second thing, now the second module is called organization management. So organization management is like how your organization is structured. what are the different departments, what are different positions, what are different jobs, what are different cost centers, what are different persons, and so on. And how those trees are created. Like you create one department, within the department you create managers, so on. So how that entire structure is completed. So that is called organization management. So
Okay.
in organization management, agenda is we'll introduce ourselves to organization management. Then we'll talk about different organization management objects. So we'll also explain what are the objects and all. Then we'll talk about different object types. The object types can be organization unit, it can be a job, it can be a position, it can be a cost center, it can be a person. Then we'll talk something about object relationship. Then we'll touch about some functions, and then we'll see one organization structure in detail. Lastly, we'll talk about what are the info types in organization management, and then lastly, we'll touch on reports in OM.
Okay.
So organization management is a very important sub-module of SAP HCM. It deals with all the organization structures, all the organization build-up and everything. So now, so what is the capacity of capability or the capacity of organization management? It manages the organization structure. So all the organization structure is managed by them. It has the insight to staff and structural environment of organization. So it deals with all the staffs. Staffs are the employees, and employees, we in organization management, we regard employees as something called person. So it has
Okay.
organization management has a track of all the staff, that is employee or person. Also, it takes care of the organization environmental, organization or the structural environmental of the organization. It also deals with reporting structure of enterprise. So you have a reporting structure. So within HR department,
Yes.
my manager, I'm your employee, and this is your
Yeah.
job. This is your position, mine. So this becomes a basis of your reporting structure. Also, we deal with something called workflows. So what is workflow? You understand the concept of workflow?
Yeah. The hierarchy in which the work is done.
Correct. So it's like that only. So I'll give you a very classic example of workflow. So I and Aditi are in your organization. So I report to Aditi. Aditi reports to. Aditi is my manager. You are my HR. I am my employee. So whenever I apply for a leave, what happened? My leave first it goes to my manager. He approves, and after this approval, it goes back to HR. And after you approve, the system gets updated and it says me, okay, you are approved. Now you go for a leave. So you saw my data flowing for me to my manager, from my manager to HR, and then it updated my system. So this thing is called workflow. This is how the work flows. So
Okay.
let's say you have an organization management. You have departments as unit, you have position, you have jobs, you have person or employee occupying those things. So this will help you to create a different workflows, right? Then we have
Yeah.
something called simulate and analyze and experiment any proposed change. Let's say today my structure is like that I report to Aditi, and you are the HR. Now in future, what can happen? I can report to you, and Aditi is the HR. So this
Okay.
is a future proposed change. So in HCM, in OM, we can create future structure also. We can
Okay.
create something called existing structure. We can create something called future structure also. And lastly, we have something called a structural authorization. So remember, we talked about authorization in PA, like you have authorization. Remember, we created something called SU3, then we
Yeah.
created, gave Molga as 40, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that means I have access only to 40 Molga. So that is called standard authorization. Now there's something
Okay.
called structural authorization. So this is just a concept. Structural authorization means, let's say you are my HR, so you have structural authorization to see all my data. Let's say
Okay.
Aditi is from different, she will not have access to my, she will not authorization to my data because she is not my HR. HR or your manager within your same structure will have authorization. So that is called structural authorization. And there's a standard authorization, like I'll just input your name and you will have authorization. That is structure. Standard. Structure is that it should follow structure. It should follow a workflow. It should follow a reporting structure. Okay.
Okay.
So this is how organization management works. So it will manage your structure. It will have insight to your staff, and it will have a reporting structure. It will have workflow. It will simulate and analyze some future propose change also, and also it helps us to set up structural organization.
Okay.
Any doubt
Okay.
till now?
No, no.
No, there's something called objects. So now we'll try to. So in OM, everything is a object. Your department is an object called organization
Okay.
unit. You are an object called person. There's a
Okay.
cost center is an object called object cost center. Then your position is again object.
Position.
Your
Yeah.
job is also object. So everything is based on object. Similarly, in PA we
Mm.
have different things, but in OM everything is object, and that object will have
Okay.
different functionalities. So
Okay.
OM, organization management, is based on the concept that each element in an organization is an object with
Object.
individual.
Yeah.
So let's
Mm.
say we'll take an example. So org unit is a concept which the element of the organization, that is department, is a standalone. Standalone means it's a isolated objects with individual characters. So like organization unit is nothing but it's the element of the organization, and the what element of the organization, it is a department of the organization, and it has its own characteristics.
Mm.
So objects are the basic concept in OM. Now these objects can be created and maintained as created, deleted, and so on. And this object can be created, and this object can be linked to another object. Like position can be linked to a job can be linked to a position can be linked to a unit or
Right.
department can be linked. So all this linkage, so this linkage is called relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you are my manager. We are two different objects. So you are a manager position, I am a consultant position. So what is our relationship? I report to you. That is our
Employee.
relationship.
Yeah. Reporting. Yeah.
So what are OM objects? OM objects is the concept that each element is represented by an object, and object can be created separately, but they are linked to different objects, and that linkage is called relationship. And this
Mm-hmm.
relationship forms a network which will help you to do the reporting and the forecasting for any human resource capability in an organization. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now, what are human organization management objects? So there are five basic building blocks.
Yeah.
One is the organization unit. So
Mm-hmm.
that is denoted by a symbol called
Yeah.
O.
Symbol. Right.
We also call it a symbol or key. Then we have jobs, which is a symbol called C. We have position, that is symbol called S. We
Yes.
have cost center, that is called K. We have person, that is P. So
P.
org unit is not, it's your department, HR department, finance department. Within HR department, it can be a PA department, OM department, payroll department, time department.
Mm-hmm.
Jobs, it's work an employee does in an organization. That is called
Mm-hmm.
job. So your job is managing employees, managing project. Now there's
Okay.
something called position. Position is what an employee holds in a company. So you are a manager, I am a consultant. So that is our position. There's
Mm-hmm.
something called cost center. Cost center is where whatever cost to you incur to the company is saved there. So you get salary, you get per diems, you get shift allowance. So all the cost, which is your CTC, is
Mm-hmm.
captured in something called cost centers. So cost centers are
Okay.
created by finance people. Cost center HR they don't create. Like
Yeah.
company
Right.
code, cost center, these three are not created because cost center will have GL and all those things. So that
Mm-hmm.
is not a concept.
Finance. Mm.
Lastly, there's something called person. So person is nothing but an employee. So I am a person. So that is your employee ID, what your personal number and all. So
Mm-hmm.
these five are the building blocks of any organization management. So till now, you have any doubts to ask, tell something?
No, no. Like I've seen this objects before also.
Okay. So now we'll go to the first object. So first object is called business organization unit. So organization is nothing but different business area within your organization. So it can be HR, it can be finance, it can sell and distribution, it can be your servicing and so on. And within that HR, it can be your payroll, organization management, time, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a different business unit within your organization, and these all are called org units.
Okay.
So org unit, they are part of the structure, and
Mm.
they can be also linked to other units in the structure. Like let's say you HR. Within HR, you have something called. So this is an example. So you have executive board, you have production, you have HR. Within HR, you have administration, you have payroll, you have finance, you have marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So these are different org unit or business areas, and they are also linked to each other. So they are not always in isolation.
Okay.
And thirdly, this structure will help you to create an organization plan. So let's say in any company, they ask you to create an organization plan. So for organization plan, what is the basic thing you have to do? You have to define different business unit, and that
Mm-hmm.
business unit you have to create as an organization unit.
Okay.
Okay. An organization unit also is where your position is. So first, when they tell you to create organization plan, you create organization unit,
Unit
that is business area. Then within that business area, you create different positions,
positions.
and and on this position you hire different person.
Yeah.
And when you hire different person, you tell them this is your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is one how org unit works. Okay, this is a business area. It is created and it is linked to different business areas or org unit, and also it is helped to create organization structure or a plan, and they are linked to different position and job.
Jobs.
So this is how your org unit looks, and this is how your organization unit looks on a SAP. So when
Yeah.
we do, want you to screen now, or when we do practicals, I can show you everything there.
Um. Anything is fine.
So PA was the only thing she had to create a lot of OM, time and payroll is most of a brain thing. It's not much of work, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's much you have to understand all the concept very properly.
Yeah. Actually, many times there are questions on OM, like OM info types,
Correct.
and yeah.
We'll go to that one by one. So for you, OM, we have a T code like PP01. So here you can create all the org structure. You can create position, you can create jobs, you can create organization unit, and so on. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and this is same like PA30 for a personal administration. We always go to PA30. We always go to SPRO. We always go to
Yeah.
SC11. So for organization management, this is the basic thing. We always go to something called PP01. So we go
Yeah.
to PP01, and then you will find something called plan version. So plan
Okay.
version is like you can create number of org
Current.
structure.
Okay.
For us, what we do, active plan version. So active plan version
Actually,
is
yeah.
the
Present
present what
one.
you come.
Yeah.
And also
Mm-hmm.
OM gives our option to create alternative plan version, future plan version, and so on. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So check one active plan version, which is our recent, and we'll go for org unit. So if you see this list, these are all different objects. There are like more than 200 objects.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we are only concerned with the 5 objects, because that is what we need for HR.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll see one object. So whenever you create one object, you have to mention object type. System automatically gives you this ID number.
Okay.
ID is just like your personal number, which system generates for you. Right?
Mm-hmm. After the creation of this unit, right?
We'll see. Okay. So we'll create one org unit. Okay. So this is organization type. This is what we call info type. Let me refresh it again. If you see, this all
Mm-hmm.
things are called info types. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we'll go through that also. What are info types? And if you see, we can create active version, we can create plan version, then this is submitted, approved version, and rejected version. All different versions we can create. But in OM, we only touch on the active version. So we'll
Okay.
create. an org unit. So we'll get practical. So let us create an org unit called HR department. So it's asking whether this org unit reports to a different org unit or not. So we'll report to org unit called test. So we save this record. So now you saw this ID got generated.
Okay.
So this is a
So it got generated when we created this
correct
object.
So this is how we create an org unit. And when we created this org unit, if you see, we also did something. We assigned this org unit to a different unit. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
I show you on little graphics. So we created this HR department, and then we gave the department under something called test unit. So this is how we created. Today I created HR department. Earlier I created something test document. So this is how it works.
Okay.
So this is org unit. Now second, there's something called jobs. So jobs is nothing but what actually a position works, or like let's say if you join a company, what work you will do. So job is a specific task given to you or a function of an employee in a company. So in an organization unit, in organization, there can be different kind of jobs. So you are a manager, you will be given a set of tasks. Like you as a manager, you have job number 1, you have to manage employees. Job number 2, you have to manage project. Job number 3, you have to do solution architecture, like you will plan everything. So these are 3 jobs. So job is what? Is a set of tasks or a function that an employee is supposed to perform. And in an organization unit, you can have different jobs. So if you see, there's a job as secretary, so that can have the different job. Like secretary can have a position of sales, secretary can have a position of production and marketing. So all these 3 positions can have same job, and this job will help you to describe what task you're doing. Okay. Now we'll go to SAP and we'll see how jobs are done. With the same thing, we go to /n pp01. We go there and we'll click job. We'll see, we'll create one job. We'll HR job, HR job, save it, done. So we have something called job here. So this is how in the system the job looks. Here we'll show when we create the infrastructure, then I'll show you how the job comes in that structure as well.
Okay.
Now we have something called positions. So position can be different position. Position is like what is the element you occupy in this org structure. So in a department HR, you are a manager. So that is your position. So that is called instant of a job. So this instant of job, you are a manager. Second instant of job will be senior manager. Third instant of job can be a senior consultant and so on. And the position, what is happening, it is tied to a org unit or a department or what you call a business area. And there can be a number of positions with same job. Like you can be a manager in HR, you can be a manager in finance, you can be a manager in servicing. Okay. And this, each position is always held by one employee. Okay. That is the standard thing. But also maybe a position can be held by 2 persons. So that is called part-time. Let's say I and Aditi are part-time employee, you are full-time employee. So you will be assigned to one position. I and Aditi will be assigned to the same position as a 50-50%.
Right.
So this is, so what are positions? Those are concrete positions which is occupied by someone in the company. It has a list of jobs. It is also always tied to an organ unit. It is held by a person. There can be a multiple position in a company. Multiple position can have only one job. Let's say HR Finance has the same work. He has to manage the project, he has to manage the employees, and he has to be a solution architect for his company. So this is how position works. Now, how position is symbolized in your SAP? We'll go to somewhere. Same here. We'll put position. We'll create a position.
Position.
So this is HR position. This is HR position. Now this position is from which unit? So we'll find that unit also, because when we create a position, we cannot have an isolated position. It has to be a tag to a unit or unit.
Yeah.
What was our HR, right? Created today, right?
Sorry?
Yeah, I just want to check what is the start date was today, right? Start date. This is what 18th, right?
Today is 18th.
The position we created.
HR. Yeah.
Okay. So we created one position. We tag the position to a unit. Okay. Also, what we'll do, we have a job also, right? We'll tag that to a job also. So we'll go to something. So how do we tag or link? We'll tag through relationship. So if you see, this is a list of relationships. So it's described by job. What's the name of it? Created on 18th. So this is. So we created a position. We linked those position to a org unit. You see, this is the org unit. You also link this position to a job. Okay.
Okay.
And linkage was happening through relationship. So if you want to link a position to a org unit, the relation is A003. I'll give you the list of codes also for that.
Yeah.
And if you want to link a position to a job, that is B007. So this relationship is a little tricky one. You need to understand this properly.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have already done all our linkage. So now we'll see how this structure is looking now. PP. So there's a transition called PP OM underscore role. So it will make you see the entire structure in one shot. This was our
Test.
org unit. Then there was a different org unit.
Yeah.
So the topmost org unit is called root org unit, and the bottom are called child org units. Now, when we click on staff assignment, it will show me what all positions are there. So you see under test org unit, there's a position called test position. Under HR department, there's a position called HR department. Now we'll see this in terms of graphics, how it looks. If you see.
Okay.
Org unit, there is a position called test position. In that same org unit, there's a department, and that department has a position called HR position. Also, there's something I wanted to show you. So org unit will have something called blue, position is always yellow. Now I'll click on position. So in this position, see, so how this is different. So org unit is this color, this is the color legend. Position is different color. Position is linked to a job.
Yellow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, you can click on this, you can click on graphics, and you can see There's a position, it has a job, it is linked to a department or an org unit.
Okay.
So this is how your position is linked to an org unit. That is
Okay.
then your position is always linked to a job. So we are done with org unit, we are done with jobs, we have done with position. Now we come to something called cost centers. So cost centers, they are maintained in finance. This is where all your costs, what your company is bearing for you, is saved there. Each your org unit can have a default cost center, or it can inherit a cost center from his mother.
Okay.
So let's say HR department has a cost center, right? Within HR department, there's a payroll department.
Yeah.
So let's say payroll department will have a cost center. So let's say I'm in payroll department. So all my cost is covered by payroll cost center, right? Now let's say payroll does not have a cost center. So all my cost will go to HR department cost center. So this is how what is called root and child. So root is the topmost,
Okay.
within they will have number of child. So if let's say in root, if I connect it to a child, if the child does not have cost center, it will go to the root. This is how the flow
Yeah.
happens.
Okay.
So cost centers can be linked to org unit. It can be linked to a position. So the cost can be determined at your department level. It can also determined at your position level. So remember the position level and the org unit we can even do in PA30. There's an info type called 27. We'll touch that in
Yeah.
payroll. You
Yeah.
can link
Yeah.
a cost center and a person as well.
Yes. Yes.
This is how a cost center looks in the system. We'll go and see that cost center here as well. We'll take any random, let's say we'll take HR. This is how your cost center. So whenever you click on cost center, in PP01, it will take you to the finance screen. So this is finance screen. So you can even understand, don't understand, it doesn't matter. So it will have who has created
Yeah.
the hierarchy, what is the company code and so on. It will have the controlled information also. It will have templates, it will have addresses, it will have communication, it will have history, like who changed in and what. So this is cost center. So for us, we just need to remember two things: cost center, how we can link it here in PP01, and also in PA, how can we link it through a info type 27. So this is the two things HR.
Okay.
Now we'll talk about something object type called P, that is person. So person is a person who holds a position in an org unit. These persons are the employees in the company. This person, they are linked to org unit or org structure through positions, and all the information of the person is saved in personal administration module. Okay, so this is how the table is there. Okay, now we'll go to how the person looks. So this is so let's say we had a person, right? 88840. This is a person, right? So if you
Yeah.
want to check a person, click on display, it will take you to PA30 screen, PA20 screen.
Yeah.
In the person, if you want to change anything, it will take you to PA30 screen. So now you understand how.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Now we are in PP01, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now if you want to change anything for this person, it will take you to
Where
PA20
to go
screen.
to master it? Okay.
This is how
Yeah.
integrated we are integrated with each other. We saw for cost center. When we went to cost center, it took us to the finance screen. So this is how it is integrated. So now what we covered what is OM,
Organization. Yeah.
and in OM what is the different object types.
Subject
It
type.
can be org unit, it can be a person, it can be a job, it
Person, position.
can be a cost
Mm,
center.
yeah,
So
person.
without, then we'll cover that or we'll go move to next.
No, no, I'm fine.
So
You
now
can go ahead.
we will talk about something called object relationship. So all org unit, all positions, all jobs, all cost centers, all persons are linked to each other.
Hmm.
And all these things, objects are called OM objects. All things are called OM objects. So they are linked to each different objects. And this linkage is happening through something called relationship.
Yeah.
So what happens? If you see, there are three type of relationship. One relationship is that they can link to each other. In our case,
Hmm.
our org unit can be linked to a different org unit. So there's something called parent org unit, which is, let's say, your regional office. It
Mm-hmm.
has something called finance and accounting, and it has something called human resource.
Mm-hmm.
So these are called child. So because they come under that, that is why they are known as child unit.
Yeah.
So if you see, org unit can be linked to the same different org unit. So that means there can be a linkage within different org units, different position, different jobs. Okay.
Yeah.
Then there's something called relationship which can be exist within different types. So your org unit can be linked to position, your org unit can be linked to a job, your position can be linked to a person, and so on. So this is a type of relationship where there can be different linkage between different objects.
Mm-hmm.
And thirdly, there are some common relationships. So this is a very important slide. You always need to remember. Maybe
Cost.
1,000
Okay.
questions can come from this. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll try to explain you. So there's something called
Yeah.
org unit, which is your
Hmm.
department. It has a position. Okay.
Hmm.
And this position belongs to a work center. Work center is different objects. This
Okay.
this position has a holder called a person, that is you. Then this position is described with a job. These jobs, they have some task. Okay, so
Hmm.
I'll just give you an
Mm-hmm.
example like this. This is HR department.
Yeah.
This position is HR manager.
Mm-hmm.
You are a holder. Aditi is a holder.
Mm-hmm.
Aditi position is HR manager. HR
Yeah.
manager belongs to a work center, that is payroll. Aditi
Okay.
position has cost centers like maybe XXYY. Aditi has a list of tasks. Aditi is described by some jobs. Aditi HR position is described by job. This is very important. So they can ask you how org unit is linked to a position, how a position can be linked to a person, and so on. So this is the most important thing you should remember as a concept.
Okay. Okay.
Can you read
Mm.
this and try to explain me?
Yeah, this is a HR department,
Okay.
and position is take it as a manager, HR manager.
Okay.
Then
Give
it
me a
is
different
linked.
example. What I told you, maybe you are remembering that. Just give me another example. Like
Yeah,
that will help.
anyone.
Yeah. So start
Yeah,
from organ.
this org unit is a IT department, say,
Okay.
and then this is the first top position, that is the head position.
Okay.
Then the head position is occupied by a person, uh, any one person. Say Aditi is the person.
Okay.
Then she has a job,
Great.
and she is given a task of for that job.
Okay. Great. So this is the concept of relationship.
Yeah, and the work center is the place where she's working, right?
Yeah, work center is that. So work center is also object in OM, but that
Okay.
is not in HR what we do. Okay. HR we are only concerned with org unit, position, person, cost center, job.
Yeah.
Task and work center are further more description, but that is not commonly used in all the companies. Maybe 5%, 2% people they use.
Okay.
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 So this is how. So you understand the concept relation. Relation is a linkage between the
Yeah.
same OM objects, or it can be different
Between the
OM.
two objects. Yeah.
So now we'll talk about some functions. So in OM objects, we can create OM objects, we can change OM objects, we can display OM object, we can overview OM object, we can copy, we can delete, we can delimit, we can activate. So I'll show you on the screen. So you can create, you can edit or change, you can display, you can copy, you can delimit, you can delete, you can see an overview. So these are the different functions. So in OM, if sorry, I showed you the wrong screen. Okay, so PP01, I will go to PP01 again. So PPOM, we have something same, display, change, create, change, display, copy, delimit. You are seeing this icon, right?
Yeah.
Then there's something called delete, there's some overview, and there's something called activate.
Activate, yeah.
Now, all the objects like org unit, position, job, cost, and person, these are represented by different info types, because we know in HR is an info type, right? So
Yeah.
even OM objects are called. So I'll take you to something. If you see, this is an org unit. Sorry, this is organization. Sorry, this is a
Object.
called
Yeah.
position, and
Yeah.
they are represented by different info types. So
Hmm.
this info type, so we see what kind of info types are there. So in remember in the first slide where we discussed, we have PA info types, right? They start from 0 to 999. The HR info
Yeah.
types, they start 1000 series, right?
Okay. Yeah, it starts from 1000.
So now this is more org structure I want to show before we go to. So this is a linkage from one org unit to different position. So you can see, and you can see the legend. The position is always in yellow. It is denoted by S. Org unit is blue. It is denoted by O.
Oh.
Here, if you see job, it's a different color of blue. Org unit is
Green.
and position is yellow. And this is how the structure is. Now we'll talk about something called info types. So like HR, everything is in info type.
Yeah.
1 minute, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, sorry. So now we completed our OM objects. We talked about relationship. Now we'll talk about info types. So any OM objects is represented by a list of info types. So that info types, it starts with 1000 series. So 1000, the info type name is object. 1001 is the relationship. 1002 is description. 1003 is department. 1008 is account assignment features. 1011 is work schedule.
Work schedule.
1015 is 1016 is standard
Profile.
profiles.
Yeah.
17 PT profiles. 1027 is site dependent information. 1028 is addresses. 1032 is mail address. 1037 is billing and allocation information. 1039 shift group, and 1208 is SAP organization object. So in this, only important thing are 1000, 1001, 2, 3, 8, 11, and 28 are the important
Okay.
things. So
Okay.
if you see in 1000 info type, a person will go to all the info types.
Mm-hmm.
So let us take something called org unit, and then we'll start from there. So this is an org unit called test org unit. So we have info type 1000, which is your org unit details and what is the language org unit is using, and the start. So this is a header where your org unit name is there. What is your planning status? Planning status is always active. And in this info type 1000, that is object, is info type 1000. There you have abbreviation, that is a short form of your org unit, and there's a long form which is your object name, and then you have language. This is info type 1000. Now we have something called info type 1001. So this is just your relationship. So how your org unit is linked to another org unit, how your org unit linked to another position, and so on.
Okay.
So wherever linkage happens, it happens through info type 1001. Then there's something called description. So description means it gives you some more details. So for org unit, we can have something like this: org unit is for teaching purpose.
Okay. So this
So
is the
this is just,
description. Yeah.
and we can give the subtype also. Let's say this is assumptions. So this is our info type 1003 description. Then we have something called department and staff. So we create that thing. So it want to show whether this org unit have staffs and department or not. So this is just an indicator. We don't have any practice for this on OM, but it, like, you can denote that whether this is an empty org unit or it has staff and department as well or not.
Okay.
Then we have something called account assignment features. So here we define something like employee group, subgroup, personal area, sub area. So if you see, this is the org unit. So what we can do, we can assign this org unit to our account features. Account feature, it can be a company. So remember what company code we created? IN99.
Yeah.
We create personal area as IN00. We create personal sub area as IN01, I guess.
01.
So this is called account assignment. Account assignment, in this info type, you can link your org unit to different company codes. You can link to person area, person sub area. You can also link to business area, ON area, but this is done by finance. For us, only company code, person sub area is there.
Okay.
We have an info type called work schedule. So work schedule is where we assign them how many hours he will work, what is the different schedule, what is the shift timing and all. So we'll give them 9 hours he will work and 100%. And the work schedule group is hourly paid employee or salaried employee. So work schedule rule info type denotes that your org unit or position will have this detail as a working time. I gave 1000. Okay. Then there's something called cost planning. I'll show you more when we do practical. Cost planning is nothing but you give your, like, this org unit, what wage element it will have, what is the cost, what is the currency, and so on. So we can have, let's say this org unit will get car allowance of 1000 rupees or $199 USD and so on. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is how you link your cost directly to org unit. So sometimes your salary you get as a person, but also sometimes if you are part of some department, you'll get something extra. Then we have something called standard profile and PD profile. So this we don't use it. So this are used for structural authorization. Remember we talked about when in org unit or in OM, organization management, we have something authorization called structural authorization, right?
I don't remember much about it.
In PA, what we have standard authorization. So I report to you, that is one. But in our structure, we have something, remember, we talk about something in OM, we have something called structural authorization.
Authorization, yeah.
Depends on your structure, you will get an authorization. Like in PA, we have something called standard authorization. Standard, like I give you 40 axis, I give you PA 30 axis, that is standard authorization. But I give you axis based on your reporting structure, that you have authorization to me and Aditi. Okay. So what is done through this info types: standard profile and PD profile. PD is personal development profile, standard profile. So this we don't touch. This is a different model called SAP Securities. Then we have something cost distribution. So cost is same like info type 27. We give a company code, we give a cost center, and so on. So in this, what happened? We assigned cost center directly to Organit. Okay. Then we have something called addresses. This is nothing but we create main address, temporary address for this employees, and we save it. This is just like info type 6 for any objects.
Yeah.
Remember, in
Yes.
we create address. So here also we
Address.
can create.
Yeah.
Then we have some mailing address. We can create a mailing address. This is same like your internet mail, what is your user ID, and so on. So this is just like communications 105.
Okay. But this is a separate the object, right? Separate info type.
Info type for an object. So all info types. So we did for org unit. So same we can do for position, same we can do for jobs. Okay. And person as an org unit, person is also OM objects, but that is handled in PA30, right?
Yeah. No, person is in organization unit.
Yes, but whenever you change any, so person is on OM objects. Okay. But let's say I want to create anything. So this is a person, right? So what is this person? This is person is the OM object. But if you want to change anything, we have to go to PA30.
Yeah, change anything, right. Yeah.
Got my point? But for units like org unit, position, job, you have to change here only. That is PP01.
Okay, yeah.
So when we do practicals, we'll go to each objects, we go to each info type, and we'll find what are the relationship and everything.
Yeah, relationship. Yes.
So this material is very less, but the thing is that you have to use your mind a lot because this is very much concepts.
Yeah.